few seasons ago when I started to actually call these games with my guy Pat the Designer here on the Breeze Nation, I said and I stood on and I still stand on the fact that Coby White was not the guy. He was not the point guard. He did not look like he belonged. He looked relatively lost. And realistically, I still stand on it. At the time that I said it, he did look like trash. However, the one thing that I always maintain, and I will maintain, is I said that he had starter ability, just not on this team, if we had Zach LaVine as our starting two guard. But with Zach LaVine potentially not being here, the one thing I have to commend Coby White on is, one, he's taking his craft seriously. He's absolutely evolved his basketball game. He's absolutely taken the bull by the horns, I guess pun intended, and he's making the most of his opportunity, and he looks freaking good on the court. And I have to sit there and commend him and say, you know what? I'm a fan. And I'm glad, that he actually took his career seriously. Some people don't understand that, when I made those particular statements, Cole Anthony had just got drafted, had no offseason, had just literally, it was a COVID year. They literally just threw that man on the court, and he looked better than Coby White, who had 2 more years of experience than he did. And I didn't think that was good. I didn't think that it was good that younger players looked better than Coby White did on the floor. I don't care what the ages were. You had more professional experience. That matters, especially when you had started minutes. And so rightfully so, I critiqued them. And I still stand on those sentiments when I made them. But again, I'm a man of my word. I told people that when he started to play well, and if he started to play well, I would not only commend him for it, but I would actually root for it. And again, not to over emphasize it, but yes, he has absolutely won me over as a fan of Coby White on the Chicago Bulls. Now, I still don't think that he's a point guard. I don't think he's a point guard. I think that you allow him to be what he's always been in his college and professional career, which is a 2 guard. And again, stating, if we're not going to have Zach LaVine here, there's absolutely a spot, space, and opportunity for Coby White to be that starting 2 guard here, because I do think DeMar is more of a 3. Now, with that being said, let's talk about why this change has happened. The Bulls have played excellent. Coby White has played excellent. We're on a nice run. Billy Donovan seems to have good, rotations now. I'm not going to sit there and say that Zach LaVine was always the problem, but I will say that when you have a Zach LaVine, you do have to appease and cater to that particular star, especially when you pay him $215, whatever we paid him, right? When you get that type of money, they get priority. I mean, it just is what it is. And I've always said that I think Billy Donovan struggles with those type of people. Now, we're in a situation now where that may no longer be the case. And we're clicking. And these young guys are taking advantage of the opportunity. Even Patrick Williams last game looked good. I don't know what this put. My boy JC said that's not Patrick Williams. That's Patrick. Like he's doing something different right now, right? So I'm loving what we see. Now it's only been 4 or 5 games. Let's not get this out of hand now. We're winning, and it seems we're moving in the right direction. It feels good, and I love it for the Chicago Bulls. I'm not walking back my statements on Coby White. Coby White looks good. He's evolved as an individual player. He looks good on the floor, right? So I'm happy. I can live with that. But the wins now is just a new look Bulls. Let's give it a little more time, because I think this may be one of those situations where we've seen young teams have a nice run, win a couple games. All of a sudden they're on ESPN. Everyone's talking about them. Next thing you know, they lose the next 10. I am cautiously optimistic with this team, and I'm cautiously optimistic with Billy Donovan and how he's playing this team. And I will say that with Zach LaVine not in that lineup, you free up these guys so much. I still have some issues with his lineups at times, but he frees it. They seem to be playing so much freer. But I will say that that's still a concern. Now, I know this is a Coby White video, but this is also a Bulls video as well. I just have to sit there and say that Billy Donovan continues to put Coby White in the best situation to get the most out of him. I think we see one of those most improved type situations with Coby White. I think we see a situation where he develops into a star. But I am cautiously optimistic, because I don't know what this trade potentially is going to incur. I don't know what that new talent is going to be on this particular Bulls team, and I still question how Billy Donovan will play them. And with those variables there, I mean, you got to think about it. Some of the teams that Zach LaVine is kind of tied to right now have some potential stars that could come here, and then this lineup totally changes again. You know, this lineup could totally change again, even if you have, anyone from the Clippers that may be, and I'm not saying this, but I just saw it on Twitter, maybe a Paul George type thing. I don't think that's going to happen, but I also wouldn't be opposed, and I could also see them moving off of some of those stars in the Clippers because it just hasn't worked for them. But if a Paul George or somebody like that is on your team, I'm sorry, Coby White goes back to the bench, especially if you still have him with DeMar DeRozan. So again, I'm cautiously optimistic because the biggest elephant in the room is obviously we're playing better now that we're not catering to Zach a little bit. We see the synergy that's being made, but again, it all depends on who comes back on this roster because there is a pecking order in this league. There's levels to it. And right now, nobody's position in this starting lineup on the Bulls is safe, depending on what you land with Zach LaVine. But I don't want to be the Debbie Downer. I don't want to be the. I'm just saying, hey, I like where we're going. I like where we're trending. I am all on board with this, and I'm happy to see that our young players are stepping up. We're gelling, and we're getting some W's. I really do. It makes it so much easier to watch, call, and even enjoy these games with you all. I know you all are feeling better about the team. So, hey, let's ride this optimism. But again, just be a little cautious because we still have some very questionable things coming up. And we don't know who's going to be here. We don't know who's not going to be here, especially if we're already looking at Zach being out for 4 additional weeks just because of inflammation in his foot, which I'm pretty sure he can run up and down that court by next week if he really wanted to. But again, here's your thoughts. Again, for the Breeze Nation, I'm a fan. Coby White's won me over. I'm going to cheer for his success as loud as I critiqued him. I really am, and I'm a man of my word on that one. As far as the Bulls Nation is concerned, let's keep riding this wave. And hey, man, let's hope for the best in this return from Zach LaVine because I think we have a chance to actually make some noise if we can just get the right people to play their roles there. But whether it's level, let's say you put it in the comments. I'll be in there with you. Till next time. Peace.